So, we did a stream with Rachel and Blur where we talked about modern dating and all of the trials and tribulations that come with it, especially on the apps. And it was pretty well received. And so we're bringing them back for more stories, questions, and fun times. Only this time, I actually did my research. That time I actually came prepared and I looked into the actual stats about modern dating, and I want to bring them up to you and also see your thoughts. First of all, how have you guys been since we last talked? Like, how's the dating experience been? Have you continued dating? Have you stopped dating?
I'll
taking
let
a break?
you go first.
Go first. What's going on?
I'm fantastic. I have a girlfriend.
He's got a girlfriend.
So big W's in the chat. That's nice.
And he went from 7 dates a week to finally.
Yeah, I feel like we need to dispel that rumor.
It's interesting because a lot of the comments after our video was like, they're like, oh, he's going on like 7 dates in a row, whatever. Like, he's not gonna take any of these girls seriously. One of them was my girlfriend.
What made this date stick more than the rest?
She's dope. She's dope, bro. Like,
that's crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
A poet and a romantic.
She's really funny. She's independent. I like strong, independent women who don't need no man.
Yeah, I was more talking about the date. Like, was there something special about that date?
I will say that when he had this date, I remember he came into my room afterwards, and I was playing League of Legends, and he was like, I think I just like met the love of my life, and I was like, damn. Then we talked about it.
Yeah, no.
But like he like laid down on my bed and was like staring up at the ceiling, like thinking about it, and I was like, damn, he really is in. It was really cute.
And that was the first date, or the first?
Yeah, that was the first date.
So there was something different.
Yeah,
I will say on your side, that is probably the 4th or 5th story you've told me about someone talking to you about something emotionally serious while you're playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you play League of Legends a lot.
What was your opener?
It was just like basic flirting of like, oh, she was saying that she was like, she just put a post out that she would never be with another Persian guy. And she doesn't do well with Virgos and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, well, I got to represent for the Persians and the Virgos. Persian guys, by the way, in LA. Horrible reputation.
I'll never date another Persian guy, and then you guys had a good day. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I was just doing it just to help our culture out. I was thinking, at first I was just
like, got to be one W in the Persian culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Horrible reputation in LA.
Persians have a poor reputation in LA.
Miserable.
Do you think you've ever contributed to that poor reputation?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I found like the 5 things men hate the most about dating apps, the 5 things women hate the most about dating apps, and the general problems. And I will say the stats confirm some of what we talked about on the men's side right off the bat, which was that this is average swipe likes. So men are swiping right 16K average versus 2K women. So women are swiping right way less often. And this is passes, way more passes. Like women are way more picky on the app. They're like way more selective, and they get way more matches. However, the flip side of it is the women get a lot of very, I mean, you call it low quality matches, or matches that are like extremely hard to make any real progress on, that have no conversation. But what I'm saying is there's 1/3 of men on the apps who spend 12 hours a week trying and never get a single date, which is pretty brutal.
Right. I think one other perverse incentive that these apps have, naturally, since we're talking about the male-female difference, is they are given an incredible incentive to make it as hard as possible for men and as easy as possible for women. I've talked to people who work at these apps.
What do you mean?
Is men are the paying customers. If you make it hard for men will buy a subscription, will buy more products in order to make their chances better. So if the harder you make it for men, the more money the app makes.
But you don't think it's like already just kind of naturally hard because of the way it skews? Like, because
it is hard, but making it harder will make them pay more. They already have a near 2-to-1 ratio of male to female users. So that 2-to-1 ratio means that they don't want to make it hard for women because they need to keep all women users they have active and on the app. But I also think that, like, I think I tell Rachel all the time, is that it's secretly incredibly skewed for men. But if you're in the top 10% of men,
men that get a lot of matches, you think
the power dynamics going straight.
It is best for them on the app. Okay, hear me out. You could spend a lot of money on dating apps to try and improve your chances, or the #1 thing people in relationships fight about is money. So why not take control of your finances, feel a bit of a mastery over where your money's coming and going, and cancel some subscriptions with rocketmoney.com/Atrioc. Rocket Money, my longest running sponsor. Very, very proud to have them as a sponsor. They're great to work with and they support the channel. All it does is you download the app, you link your bank account, it'll show you every single thing you're subscribed to, everything that's coming out of your money regularly, and you can instantly one-click cancel it from the app. It is a great way to get a good mental handle on where your money is coming and going. Over 5 million customers have saved an average of $720 a year with Rocket Money. It's free to check. Just go in, check it out. If you want to upgrade to the paid version, it'll help negotiate down your bills on things like gym membership, cable, electricity, etc., and it'll pay itself only a fraction of what it saves you. So I find it to be useful. It's helpful. The budgeting tools are great. Rocketmoney.com/Atrioc. Thanks again for their support. Thanks again for your support. If you checked it out, go to the link in the description below and give it a shot. Maybe flex that on a date. I'm not sure. Back to the video. Can you guess any of the jobs that are most attractive to the opposite gender? I have the top 10. So if like you're looking for a woman and her job's in her profile, what do you think is the top 10?
Model.
Model's number 10. Rachel, you have one for men.
Doctor?
Doctor's number 4.
I'll do it. Nurse.
Nurses. There's pharmacists.
That counts. We count it. We count it.
Software engineer?
Engineer is 7.
What about teacher?
Teacher's 5.
Lawyer?
No, gross.
Oh, gross. Cringe.
How is a lawyer attractive?
I don't know many jobs. I live in LA. Everyone is like a content creator. Like, how am I supposed to?
I'll tell you, for women, almost all of the most attractive jobs are like man in uniform type jobs. Pilot, firefighter, doctor, TV radio host is up there. Teacher was the most attractive job for both genders. And then obviously like CEO, founder, entrepreneur, which is like pretty variable. Paramedic. And then for men, physical therapist was the most, which is probably just me.
Oh yeah, baby.
And then I found the #1 country, if you are a man looking to match with a woman, simply move to Latvia. Latvia is like 8 times more likely to get a match than the United States.
Where's US? Where's US?
US is here, 466.
This could be worse.
If you are a woman and you are trying to get a match, you
Not
go
eating
to
in
Germany,
Hungary.
which is like insane, 3 times as high as the United States. Look how bad it is for France women. India. India for men.
Dude,
India
you
cannot
just
get a match.
You just can't get a match in India.
You just can't get a match. Again, Rachel, you've been on dates since then. Actually, I know you have because you have shown me twice that people have messaged you on the app saying they saw you on Atrioc's stream.
Yeah, I have a funny story actually. I went to a party last night for like esports industry, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, are you Rachel? I saw you on Atrioc's dating stream like a couple months ago." I was like, "This is crazy," but actually, it was super sweet. He was like, "Yeah, you and Arian like really helped me want to get back on the apps, and I've like been having a good time." And like, yeah, he was like, Arian's advice like in particular really helped me. Like, I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet actually." Like,
that's
so
cool.
shout out to your viewer Andrew.
I mean, I've been on a lot of content and you know, big Smash
talking about
Brothers streams
Zane
and stuff. I'm talking about like commentating Genesis or whatever.
Yeah.
And usually after that, like I don't get DM'd very much. After this one in particular, like insane amount.
Well, it shows personality. I think that's what
Well,
it
I think
is.
a lot of people just we're saving a generation here, right? God damn it.
But that's why I'm interested in this, because I'm not getting on the dating apps. I just think I have an audience who's like clearly frustrated with it, or like trying to figure out how to work that place into their world, and they want to succeed on it and they don't understand, and it's changing. And so to me, it's very interesting because it seems like a problem that didn't exist before, and it's just rapidly risen the ranks.
I think the problem always existed, but I think like as we have social media, like the problems become more public for other people. Like,
Right, but like this is, you know, this is a new problem.
Like, I feel
right?
like people still had trouble dating, like even back then.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they were, like meeting through friends, but I think like online dating, because it feels more accessible, it probably feels worse.
So what do you think about the statement that it is very difficult to ignore the human tendency to always want to abandon what you're doing and trade up, or just like anytime it gets hard, you kind of quit and move to the next thing because of the way online dating makes it so easy?
I think absolutely. It's what I was telling you that like I think this ecosystem and this metagame is going to, if you get really into it, it's going to affect you in ways that you would never expect, and you're going to change as a person. As in, you will respond in ways that are kind of subconscious. I think one of the most common ones is that people value their self-worth to the number of matches they get. They think that their attractiveness is relative to how much female or male attention they get, and that naturally brings their confidence up and down depending on how well they're doing. So that's like a common one, right? But that's happening in the background where you're not really thinking about it, but all of a sudden, like people who would never normally ghost, for example, like we talked about a lot last time, will start to ghost because they got ghosted, and things like that will start becoming becoming behaviorally more common just because of how these apps are set up.
I want to give a little bit of a counterpoint because I wanted to make sure we got some of the female perspective, not just from you, but like I looked it up because the apps are catered to keep them on the app. The thing that scares them off is the users. What do you think your biggest problems are?
For me personally, I think that people want to move like physically too quickly for me.
That was on here.
Yeah.
Going way too sexual, way too early.
So like normally, you know, if it was like the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or whatever, you have like 30 to 40 interactions with a person to like build comfort before you get to the point where you're like physically intimate.
Yeah.
But like on an app, it's like, okay, well, we both think that the other person is like physically attractive. And then like, I think it like kind of emboldens people to just like go.
Just run for it.
Yeah, just go for it.
You know what's funny?
But,
Some of what I was reading though was like, they didn't even so much mind it. It's that it was done in such a jarring way. They would talk about examples of people being in a conversation about something totally different. And then they try to force it to be really sexual, like punt it. And that was one thing that they said. Another one was lying a lot about height, age, career, whether or not they're married.
I've never encountered the married one, but yeah, plenty
three?
of people lie about their height. That's like kind of easy for me to clock people on because I'm pretty tall.
Blair, what's your experience with
The number one thing I found that girls lie about is the pictures.
like filters and whatever, or like totally different person? 'Cause that's
Not
insane.
totally different person, but like this is a picture when they were 30 pounds lighter.
Actually, yeah, men do that too a lot.
Isn't that sort of the advice everyone gets though? Is like you got to get your most flattering photos. You gotta.
But they're old. Like if we're talking about 30, 40 pounds, it's like, bro, that's not you.
It's a bad start.
Oh,
to the
it's
day.
like you're done.
It's a real.
You're
tough
already done.
hole to get out
And
of.
it's just that happened way too many times, honestly.
Certain angles I don't trust. Yeah. So one other thing I found when I was looking into it was like big concerns. This is mostly like women talking about men, but photos. So there's a lot of men in here. If you're doing photos, they are aware of this trick. Being in group photos in all your pictures.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Wearing a hat and sunglasses
Yep.
in a lot of your pictures. Huge
What are
L.
you doing?
They might even think you're trying to hide your hairline or something.
Yeah. That's if all your photos have a hat, I think you're trying to hide your hairline or you are bald, which is fine. But like,
Yeah.
If you're a
show
girl
it,
and you're just doing the picture with your phone up here,
Yeah,
it's topped
oh,
the
this way
top-down angle? Is that the...
Oh yeah, they love that one. And only face, tons of face. Like wow, 4 pictures of face.
I see. That's the game.
yeah, if they're all like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like 3 white guys in a photo, but it's like every photo has those 3 white guys, and I'm like,
That's the boys.
which one is
Okay,
it?
that
Is it all
shows you
3?
that's a ride or die crew.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whoever it is, they have good friends.
That's a 3-for-1 package.
So one things I found as tips for men, for whatever reason, don't think they're in the top 15% of just pure physical attractiveness. I'm just gonna fucking get matches off looks alone. Obviously, you take the photos that are like flattering or good for yourself and show yourself. The main thing it said is within 24 hours of matching, you gotta show warmth, charm, or intelligence. Ideally, all 3.
The woman said that?
Yeah, a woman said.
Oh
that.
my god, that's what I said last.
said?
I said message immediately. The best time to message.
Yeah, message within first 24 hours.
Boom, just drop
immediately.
it.
This main thing comes into the topic I want to talk up, which is opening lines and like early combos. So I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's like a big problem that people talk about. The main thing they run into is they try something nice and polite, like hey or what's up, how you doing? It doesn't work, and it's a disaster. It's like both sides are bored. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or ideas on what's worked for you or what you've encountered or what's impressed you. Yeah, dissertation. What's your?
Yeah.
This could take a while.
Jump in.
Yeah, so I mean, I touched on it last time, which was emotions are everything. Basically, you should be pushing towards emotions and emotional conversations. Now it's like, okay, you can't just say, "Is your dad alive?" You know, you got to.
Dad alive.
That can't.
is the craziest opener.
I know.
Write this down.
So first, what I do is I look at the profile and I try to find something that I could tie into a conversation point that I can make emotional. Basically, you need to make it so that whatever you say that jumps out isn't like a factoid about them, or isn't just something that like they're almost tired to type it.
Because like my profile says like I used to like run Super Smash Bros tournaments or something like that, and so everyone's like openers. Hey, like who do you play? You could like smash me instead. I've gotten like every single variant.
every
you can think
variant
of.
of Smash.
Which like that's also my fault because like my profile. This is like specific to Tinder. Like doesn't have anything else.
So
like,
you gave
kinda
them the
hard.
Smash thing.
Yeah, I kind of like gave them that opener.
What if I haven't dated or been in a relationship in over 10 years? The reason is unique and not bad like prison or anything. How unique could it be, bro? What is that? Did you break up after a long relationship?
You caught my interest. Like,
Average 10-year-old chatter. Do you think Tinder elo hell is real? Is it like your account was bad, you made it better, but now you still don't get priority when you swipe right on girls asking for a friend, by the way?
it's an algorithm, so yeah, I think so.
So there is elo hell, but I think you can easily get yourself out of it. So me, I lost over 100 pounds rounds. And as I did, I updated my pictures, and I slowly got out of elo hell. Yeah.
And that's partly a numbers game, and then partly them trying to milk people for money, because it is a money business.
But you could probably pay your way out.
You obviously, like, we can talk about the fact that people hear that, and that's like really demoralizing. That sucks.
So there's a lot of things that will disappoint you about it, but that doesn't mean that you can't operate within it. Like we're talking about, like, get in shape, start dressing well, do personal hygiene, these sort of things that are good for your life, that are gonna maybe move you up like 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And the thing with this, if we're giving advice to a man on here, these things are worth doing, and some of them are not even that hard. You have the option to, I was doing this, by the way, no shade to chat, play video games all day, you know, like eat whatever you want, don't really care about personal appearance, like kind of not go for anything. But the thing is, when you do that long enough, there's a lot of things that start happening within your psyche that start compounding, and you start losing a lot of self-worth with time. Why are video games especially like so useful, right, in this pursuit? Is that they give you short-term.
Rachel's looking at the floor, like thinking about her last 40 ranked games.
Yeah. Like, let me just talk. Like, you're like shitting.
You're really shitting on league players right now.
I'm like playing League of Legends for 8 hours a day. You don't think I'm happy? I'm happy, bro. I hit diamond.
Not everyone who plays League of Legends is depressed, but many of them are, right?
I will say you do it a little more socially. I feel like you're generally playing with someone else.
I try to like make everything social, so that like at least I'm like fostering something, not just romantic relationships to me. Like my friendships are really important. So like that's what I've been doing, is like grinding my platonic.
No, me too. I've been grinding it. I've been trying to grind more. I've been doing the same thing.
Like
just more friendships. Yeah, it's killing my stream.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I'm a demi-romantic, meaning I'm not interested in people I haven't had a close connection with, typically through friendship, for at least around a year. I feel like I'm doomed to being single because most people I know and can be interested in essentially don't like dating their friends. So they're my exact opposites. Any tips on what I should do, Sag?
I don't have any tips that come to mind, but I want you to know I have the same exact experience as you. I feel like Arian's POV a lot, which is like, hey, how do I fuck this girl on like the
day
first
3?
Yeah, exactly. Like and I feel like there's not, at least in my opinion, there's not a lot of women talking about this, or like.
Yeah, I think there's more men talking about it.
I think people who are like demisexual, or people who like need longer to have connections, you just saw the online graph, right? Like that makes it so much harder. It's like, we like to say that, oh, okay, well, you know, just go to like social gatherings and like find friends of friends and things like that. And that's all right, but the meta has changed. There's less places to do this accurately with. More people are staying at home, and a lot of people, the grand mass of people, are just using these apps. And so if you're someone who's demi who wants the most options, like, you're not getting a large slice.
But also, yeah, I feel like there's a certain level of the meta has changed, and like dating apps are super commodified. You just like want to swipe and swipe and swipe. It's like a fun little mini game for most people, it feels like.
The thing that I wish I brought up last time, because dating apps exist, girls no longer need to entertain unwanted approaches to get romantic affection. Before apps, like, they basically took it as a necessary evil. I'm gonna get approached by a lot of guys I don't want, but eventually I'm gonna get a guy I do want. But because they exist, it now makes it that there's a greater barrier in the meta, in the general overall meta, like, because they can just go on apps.
Approaching is now weirder.
Because they can just go on apps.
Right. Have you been in person approached?
Yeah, multiple times.
What is your feeling and reaction when that happens?
I'm always flattered. Like,
you're flattered?
Yeah. So I think it's like very kind. It's never like weird. They're never like, well, I mean, like, there's that one guy at like a bar who like asked me if I was Jewish off the rip, and I was like, that's a weird question.
That's a crazy
but, like,
opener.
I was still like, oh, like, that's flattering that person like thinks I'm attractive or whatever. Like.
Well, he just asked if you're Jewish.
Well, he then like asked me if I did OnlyFans. So like, I feel like this is a perfect time to bring up the pickup artist story, because this.
Yeah. Tell us.
Okay, so I hooked up with a guy who turned out to be a pickup artist. I was like awake at 6 a.m. after playing melee crew battles. Okay. So I was just like in bad decision making mode, I guess. Like, I matched with some guy and he was up, and I like drive up to like some mansion in like Hollywood Hills, and he's like, oh, the like students like broke the gate. I hop a wall to get into this like mansion, and I like walk into this place, and there's just like a bunch of chairs and like a projector screen in the living room, and I'm like, oh god, what the fuck
like
is
Fight
going
Club.
on? And we end up hooking up, and then I'm like, yo, like, what is going on here? Like, what like what is you like mentioned that like the students are like in your room, and
you hook up first, and you're like, all right, let's figure out.
I'm like, all right, detective work.
Now let's get to the bottom
like,
of this.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'm like a male improvement coach, and I was like, oh fuck, like, you're a pickup artist coach, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And apparently like they were running this like $5,000 boot camp in this, poor person in this like Hollywood mansion. They like do these boot camps over the weekend where each person pays like $5,000. Some people like fly in from like India and like other like countries. And there's like a lecture section, and then there's like, you know, you go out into the wild and like the coach watches you try to run game. I like asked a bunch of questions. And
Wait, these are the coaches or the students?
These are all coaches.
These are all coaches. You're okay.
I'm like, you know, how did you get into this like line of work? Like, this is interesting. Every single one of them has had some like traumatic experience like with a woman that I feel like was the pivotal point to like lead them down.
Turning into this more objectifying,
much,
like.
So it really is women's fault. So, by the way, I met these guys. I met these guys because eventually, out of my more curiosity, they invited her or something, and I like tagged along because
he did.
It was getting weird. I need to like protect you. Like I'm worried. And man, I'm telling you something, man. They didn't know anything about women. Like. It was unbelievable.
A lot of what they were teaching them was like to deal with like social anxiety and insecurity, which
just
like
through reps, you know, getting some.
Exactly.
That doesn't sound that crazy to me. That's not worth $5,000. But all right, let's do a little promo review. Speaking of these apps. Oh, we'll start with this one. From Braden Carlisle. Let me tell you something you're gonna be attracted right away. Okay. This is the Atrioc community's premier magician. And he's not an entry-level magician. He's a professional level magician.
Like,
all right, we got Braden, 27, right off the bat, opening photo, bogle moves.
It actually is like a good opening photo.
About me. In high school, I was all about three things: magic, marching band, and musicals. So basically the most popular kid you could imagine. Now I'm a full-time professional magician. Here's Braden.
Nice eyes, bro.
Starbucks. Here. Ooh.
Let me take you to a magic show, girl.
That's a good one. Is you performing? Also performing.
That's a good photo.
And you'll notice everyone's looking at it. Tons of female attention, including that grandma back there.
Yeah, she's really, look at her face,
she's
dude.
Really into it. I would remove this part.
So this is him listing his red flag. Like
Yeah.
Not that he's afraid of, that he has.
No, that is his biggest red flag.
I see.
But also, it's like, come check out my TikTok and sub.
Hey, easy clap, dude. Getting the TikTok more views. His TikTok actually is popping. I mean, this is
very specific.
Specific to a Taylor Swift fan, man.
But like, I think that's fine. It does look like you're being held hostage. So.
You don't look like you're not having much fun in this photo. I gotta be honest with you.
This is like maybe the only one then that I would replace. I think like in general, women tend to be very judgmental about when men take selfies and use those on dating apps in their like roster of photos. So
yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why, but I think when I see more than half be selfies, it's sending some kind of signal. I don't know what it is, but it seems bad.
I don't know. It's like a red flag to them for me, which is like very weird because it's a double standard because like women use selfies all the time.
Yeah,
like,
this is pretty good though, right?
That's a really good.
This is an eye catcher. It's kind of funny, quirky.
I changed a lot. I don't think it's a good opener picture at all.
Really?
Okay.
No, he's better. He looks better than that. He's going for a brand. Like, I'm gonna be fun. I'm quirky, feminist. I'm gonna be all about like Taylor Swift and like cool stuff, you know. And there's definitely girls who I think would be into that for sure. But I think that like it's so hard on that almost that like a lot of like the standard of like, yo, just pick a picture where you like look really good isn't there.
I mean, it would be good to see one of you in like your suit performing on stage,
You know
looking swag. I agree somewhat to that.
Yeah. You don't need to put your personality you need to put your like, I look like this and this is the best I look kind of vibe.
It's not all Braden, okay? We gotta do a review here. Let's review. I've gotten 4 matches in 2 weeks. There we go.
That is really awful.
This is Todd. 4 matches in 2 weeks. Todd
like
carrying a boulder.
Is the boulder taking a shit? Is that what's happening? He's like,
I don't know what the boulder is. The boulder is hanging dolls.
Like
that's what I'm looking at.
That's crazy that your mind immediately went to boulder ass.
It's shitting on it, right?
You are just
unusual skills. From my years of biolab, I know what chemicals to use to defend myself.
That'll make that
6 feet tall. Or 5'11" and lying. Let's go. Been there.
I'm 5'11", never lied.
You're not 5'11".
I'm 5'11". Dog, I hate y'all.
No,
5'11". I'm 5'9".
Oh, why do we gotta do this? Keep going, guys. Physics PhD. Hey,
Physics PhD.
Hey, whoa.
The Godfather.
Why is that not higher up?
Wait, what are these photos? These are crazy.
Whoa. Oh my God.
You on the set of Big Bang Theory?
Yeah. Okay.
Together we could tour an art museum I know about that you won't find on Google Maps. He's got a basement photography.
It's called my bedroom. I make art in there. This is my canvas.
Him on the weirdest proportioned horse I've ever seen in my life.
Horse
I gotta be honest. I'll give my amateur opinion. These photos are pretty good.
They're obscenely good relative to the first two. Step number one, whatever's going on in your first two, delete them forever.
Yeah, I will say this is like the weakest photo.
Your other ones are so much better.
This is your opener, and it's like,
like a turn. The one on the throne should be on top here.
Yeah, this is
you look like a boss, bro.
Yeah, you look good in this.
You jerking off a boulder is your number one.
Why is that one first?
I'm also going to say it's probably not the fact. I mean, it's not the deciding factor, but for Asian men.
Yeah.
Asian men have a tough time on the apps. They have a hard time getting matches. It's more difficult. This is a real thing statistically. 0 likes in the past year. Okay, let's get some help here. You guys.
All right, let's go, baby.
What if I told you that I'm the photographer of the group? Of course, I have barely any pictures of myself. I don't think that works, but okay.
No. Ooh, that's real bad. But let's keep going.
6-2. My biggest date fail. I threw up on it while eating it out. That's so crass.
Dude, what are you doing, my guy? Oh my God, dude, what are you doing?
Oh my God. So fucking crass.
Holy
so
smokes.
Early.
Self-sabotage. You're not bad looking. Oh my God.
I'm convinced that any city is walkable if you don't value your life.
No, I like that one. I like that one.
I think you're hot. I think you're good looking.
You're hot.
So I think there is something here where these photos are not.
I feel like
they're not it. And also this is not good. And so I would change both your answers.
Please, for the love of God, don't say it's so hard out here if you're doing that. Like, come on. What are we doing?
By the way, the first picture is not bad except for the fact that you look sad.
Just switch it up and I guarantee you'll do better.
James, trade offer. I receive one of your likes. You receive everything in this presentation, even more great things. I'm stylish. Okay.
That's the best.
That's the best one so far.
Where are you landing on the memes?
I think in general, when people like try to break the formatting of like what Hinge is by like making like basically a PowerPoint presentation, that it comes off not in the right regard. I think it almost comes off as like trying too hard in some regard.
Hold up. Are we sure my last name isn't Bond with all these cool hobbies? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. You're working with a lot here.
I mean, the main thing is if you're going for the funny brand, you gotta be funnier than this. That's just a real talk. India?
Using Tinder in India. 0 matches, ready to be roasted. Woo! Dark Souls challenge. All right.
Let's prepare for the raid boss.
Gear up.
All right, can we do this?
You're hot.
Sheesh. All right.
I hate that you're hot. That's so hard.
I really like your
in India dresses fucking well.
Yeah,
oh my God, you dress well. I want to dress like you.
You're like in a library. I don't know where you're at, but you look professional.
You got riz, dude.
This gets you 0 matches in India? Move!
Good.
Oh my God!
You look good.
Oh my God!
You need to actually move.
Oh my God, move.
This is a level of difficulty that's actually crazy.
What are we doing? You're the hottest guy.
5'11".
What are we doing here?
Extremely well dressed.
This is so effed. Oh my God.
I'm actually a little bit blown away.
I'm actually my brain's exploding.
Because that means it really is that hard.
Oh my God, India is cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is a good
kangaroo.
Holy shit.
And he's got a hedgehog.
Well, India really is Dark Souls, dude.
Oh my God.
This is a great photo.
What are we doing here, bro? Oh my God. Take him home to mom.
You said ready to get roasted. We're just cultivating the shit out of him.
You're a 10.
That's a fire profile.
You're a 10. You're just in India, bro. I don't know what to tell you, God.
You move somewhere else, you're gonna get matches.
You're gonna crush.
All right. Well, that is a wild story to end on. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for watching Dating Stream 2.